Well, hey guys, I hope y'all are doing well today. I'm going to do two videos today. Right now I'm getting ready to make a pie crust because tomorrow I'm going to make a custard pie for Richard for Christmas. So you'll get to see me make that custard tomorrow, but I'm making the pie crust today so that way it can get all um, absorbed, the butter and stuff get absorbed. So I'm putting some gloves on. Usually I have really cold hands, so it's always good to work your pastry. To make pastry dough, you want cold everything. You want cold flour, you want cold butter, you want cold ice water, all that good stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure half a teaspoon of salt. I've got 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, so I got half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm using salted butter, and I'm also putting sugar in, and I'm putting about almost a teaspoon, not quite a whole teaspoon. Maybe we'll just do half. That's what it calls for. Just because I'm making a sweet pie dough rather than a savory one because we're going to have a custard pie. So nut sugar I'm going to make later. And then I've got this right here. It's just, all that is to cut your butter in with. It's a pastry cutter. That's all it is. So I've got flour, salt, and sugar in this bowl. And then I've got a whole stick of salted butter, and it's cold right out of the fridge. So I'm going to cut it in cubes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut it into the flour. And what that does is you want it to be, once you get it cut in, you want it to look like peas, or in like the size of peas. You don't want to overwork your dough, pie dough, because then it will be tough and it won't be flaky. So I'm just cutting them up in this size pieces, and then I'm going to work them in with my pastry cutter. You can also use a food processor. I have one. I just wanted to do it by hand today. So I'll get this cut up and get it started, and I'll be right back with you guys in just a second. Okay, so I've got all the butter cut up and it's in the bowl. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pastry cutter, and you're going to push down quite hard. And what you do is you're just, see if I can get my camera to go down here. I've got a new camera mount, and it's it's not as flexible as my other one was. So what I'll show it to you what it looks like once I get done cutting all this butter into the pastry. And I mixed in the sugar and the salt already, so that way everything's evenly mixed. So what you do, and you're gonna get butter stuck to your little hooks on there. This is an older pastry cutter. It was probably my grandmother's, I believe. And she died about 5 years ago. She was almost 100 years old, so it was granny's, I'm sure. She can make some pies, and she was a really good cook. So, but anyway, let's get that cut in here. Sometimes I just do it with my fingers too, and it seems like it might be what I'm going to end up doing. So, because the butter's really, really hard right out of the fridge. You want it cold though. I mean, you definitely want it cold because that's going to make it a flakier crust. The colder your stuff is, the better. So let me finish getting this mixed in, and we'll be right back. Ooh, okay, so it took me about 5 minutes to get it all mixed in, but as you can see, there's little clumps of butter in here. And what you want to do is, you've got it like kind of sandy. It kind of clumps together a little bit. See, like how it kind of clumps together. So what you're going to do now is you're going to add ice water. And you're going to add it a little at a time, just because you don't want to add too much at one time. I'm probably going to put 2 teaspoons in here and work that in. And I'm just using my pie cutter. You want it to just where it just starts coming together, because you want to mix it as little as possible, or handle the dough as little as possible. That's why I'm using a pie cutter rather than my fingers, because my fingers are kind of hot today, so I feel like I might be getting a cold. But okay, so I put a tablespoon of water in. Probably going to end up putting maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons. It just depends on the day outside too, how flour absorbs liquids. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get it to come together and put it in a ball, and then push it down into a disc, wrap it in plastic wrap, and just put it in the fridge overnight. and then I'll roll it out tomorrow and we'll make a custard pie together tomorrow. Later on, I'm doing a video, not too much later after this one. I'm going to make some flan for a friend of ours. So we're going to make some vanilla flan. So let me get a little bit more water, probably another teaspoonful. It's really starting to come together now. So get a little bit more water. I think that's all the water it's going to need. And see, I'm just cutting it in with this pie cutter. And I did put a little sugar in. It's just a 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of salt, about a half a teaspoon of sugar, and then a half a cup of butter cut up small, which is 1 stick is a half a cup. So anyway, let me go ahead and get this all together into a bowl. I might actually need some more water. We'll see. Yeah, I think it is going to need a little touch more water. Just a smidgen. You can always add more later. You just can't take it out. So especially with pie doughs and stuff, you want to add it a little at a time because you don't want to keep adding flour and water and working it because then it's going to be, your dough's going to be tough, and you don't want tough pie dough. Nobody likes that. So I think we're just about there. And I'll show you. That's what it's looking like right now. We still got a little loose flour. So, but I think that's okay. I don't think I'm going to need any more water. So anyway, all right, so I've got it in a ball here like this. It's just come together. See how it's just come together? And what we're going to do, it still hasn't absorbed all of the liquid and butter. Well, it's not going to really absorb the butter, but when you go to roll it out, you're going to see your pieces of butter in it, and that's what you want to see. Now when you make pie dough, this is an all butter pie dough. You can make one with like vegetable shortening, lard if you use lard. I use that if I make tortillas or something. I put lard in it, but otherwise you just put it in a disc like this. I'm going to get some plastic wrap, and we're going to let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. And this is enough for 2 pies, so he might get lucky and I might make him 2 pies tomorrow, so because he will eat one in one night. So anyway, this is it. That's all you do is to make pie dough. It's 4 ingredients. Well, 3. I think it was 4. So we got flour, butter, salt, sugar, and water. So and the sugar is optional. You don't have to do that. I just put in it because I'm making a more sweet flavored pie dough. So anyway, I hope you guys got a little lesson out of that, and we'll be back in a little bit making some fun. Love you guys. Bye.